jumped into the meeting, you do have handouts right here. Under your handout section, you are able to expand the pane. We've got our SQL statement that you're going to need, as well as the PowerPoint slide. Now, the PowerPoint slide is definitely going to help you to go over all of the steps that you're going to need in order to perform your backups and your restores. So then this way, you may not have to listen to the whole video all over again. But please feel free to download away, and just going to give it one more minute, and then we'll begin. Okay, so once again, this is backup and restore your companies like a pro. This is going to be all about how to back up the companies in SQL and restore them in SQL. Now, before we get to that, I just have a couple of announcements to make that we do have still registration open for GPUC for 2018. It is coming up shortly in just two short weeks. My goodness, there are about 65 sessions for users, and this is going to be really instrumental. There's a couple of great 2-hour sessions to jump in on between payroll and management reporter training, beginner to super user. We're going to cover so many different modules of GP, and it's going to be great. Also, because you're attending, you also get an online access for even after you have come to the session. If you need to go back home and kind of revisit some things we went over, or if you weren't able to attend another class that you really wanted to hit, you'll be able to capture all of that information just by going into the login that you'll be provided once registering. And again, that is going to be November 14th to 16th. Might be cold, but it'll be a good few days. And just so you know, we've got some upcoming webinars. On our webinar Wednesday, we've got payment processing and improving accounts receivable by Notice Technologies, web time entry, and key to act job cost month-end closing coming up. Thursdays are our official tips and trick Thursday webinars. So feel free to please register. Go online and take a look at what our past ones have been. Maybe we can help you out in something you're looking to unlock.
Well, hey, Erica, it's Brandon.
Hey.
So it looks like this is on me. I may have sent you a couple outdated slides there. Those are back from October. So we have all of our latest upcoming webinars here coming up right on our website. So that was definitely my fault.
I apologize. I keep forgetting it's November 1st, and yesterday I took the kids trick-or-treating. I think I would have realized that with the costumes and candy.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the thick of backing up and restoring. When should we be backing up our systems? Any major change to GP, if you're touching your segments, renaming your segments, adding them, if you're using Pistol, the professional services tool library, to modify accounts, item cards, anything that's actually really going to be a big transition for you in GP or unlock a module, you're going to want to make a backup. Even if you're doing year end, I always highly recommend backups because it'll take you right back to the place and keep all of the information up to date from right when you made that backup. And making backups are super simple. I'd rather you guys make more backups than you even need because you can always delete them. I always make backups before I run check links. Now, there are times where you may need to run check links and or reconcile. If there does come a time to where you need to run check links, I always recommend making a backup because check links will bring out any kind of ugly monster that's lurking in your GP that we need to fix, get a hold of us and say, hey, something's totally not balancing, we're off somewhere. When we make a backup, we'll run check links to see what the issue is and then how we can fix it from there. If you need to refresh your test company, great example, if you've got new users coming on board that need training and you want them in the test system so they can play around, or if you're looking to unlock a brand new module, configure it and test it in the test company first before you go live, it's always good to have your test company with the latest and greatest amount of information. And that's something I always highly recommend is kind of just maybe every month refreshing your test company because, hey, you never know, maybe there was a transaction you want to take a look at and really drill down into. Now, there are ways you can have these backups being performed nightly for you. contact us for more information and we'll get you set up. It takes very, very little time on our part to set up nightly jobs to where it'll automatically back up your databases. I encourage this tremendously. There's too many former colleagues, former bosses that reach out to me that they've incurred massive disaster loss by not having the appropriate amount of backups. And it could be really tragic and devastating if you lose, say, a week's worth of work because you don't have nightly jobs on. So it's always good to have them running at night when everybody's out of the system and just let the system back up all your data. It truly is a better safe than sorry situation. And trust me, I've been through that sorry and it stinks. Actually, my apologies on that one. Here we go. So let's take a backup. First thing we need to do is log into SQL. Now, for the most part, your SQL box, we normally have access to your SQL information, and we can always walk you through this even further, but you will need to be able to log into SQL. This actually shows all of your databases and all of the tables that actually make up your front end and what you use in GP. It's also a way we do create reports for you in SSRS or even link smart list builder reports together to get you even better information. So you're going to see I've got a bunch of databases here. I've got my Dynamics, which actually holds the core GP setup settings that control all companies. And you're going to see I've got just a couple of random databases in here. 2 is always GP's Fabricam that they give you with demo data in there. And I created my Z-Test database, my GP company, just so we can kind of go over all of this. You'll see you'll have system database snapshots, but the report servers are for my SSRS reporting, and Smart Connect is the third-party tool I have installed with on my instance because I love doing integrations and I love doing them fast. So today, we're going to take the Fabricam database name 2, and we're going to refresh it into test. So now the first thing we're going to do, and on your presentation slides, you're going to notice I really did give you guys step-by-step instructions because I really want you to be successful. Once you kind of master how to do this, it takes about 15 minutes for you to do your own backups and restores. So let's begin. First thing we're going to do is right-click. And all I had highlighted on was the word 2, which is the database name. I'm going to go right into tasks, and I'm going to go into backup. And you're going to see this window pop up. Now you're going to see this sit up here if you've got daily, nightly backups, which of course I do because I do a lot of testing and updating things. I'm just going to remove it. If you do not have any nightly backups, you'll see it blank. If there is a nightly backup there, you can just hit remove, and we can do what we call one on the fly. So now it's already recognizing my database because I highlighted it in this pane right here. If I wanted to though, and I said, hey, I shouldn't have been doing 2, I wanted to do a different database, Z-Test, I could have did that too and just drop down and click right there. So now I'm going to hit add because I'm going to back it up to a disk. Now it's always going to give you where your default GP folders are located, which is extremely crucial. I like to go into the ellipsis because you know what? Look at how far down it drills you down for your backup, your default backup folders. Look at that. There's our C drive. We go into Program Files, Microsoft SQL Server. Then we go into this one right here and then backup. So I kind of always recommend take a screenshot or 2 of it. I mean, you've got snipping tools, definitely use them, especially for the first couple of times until you really know where your files are located. So I'm just going to create 1101, and I'm going to use a BAK file. Now, you can see right here, it gives us an option of BAK, excuse me, or a TRN file. BAK, you have to specify and actually type it in and make sure you do. BAK files are almost like zip files. It is going to save tons and tons of space on your server, which you need for running GP and transactional data. But it also restores so much quicker, and you really don't need a TRN file. So just always remember, you have to type in BAK. So I'm going to hit OK, and I'm going to sit here and hit OK. Now you can peruse through the other options. Everything is really defaulted correctly for you to take backups. There's nothing in here that really needs to be changed. And I'm just going to hit OK. Now you're going to see our progress right here goes to executing. Once you hit 10%, you know you're golden. That means, all right, we're going to work through it and it's good. There's no settings wrong. Like I said, take as many backups as you need. There's no hurt. You can always delete those BAK files. I mean, really consider them zip files on your desktop. And now I got the backup of database 2 is completed successfully, which is awesome. Now, the reason I also say make sure you know the location of your backup file is because if you're refreshing test, you need to pull that backup file. So now let's go back. And I did give you guys all of the screenshots and what to make sure that you have here in all of your settings. And again, make sure you know where that backup is. Super, super important with the BAK add-on at the end. Now let's refresh our test database. And chose refreshing test because we're taking a backup of this database and making it here. Some people might be saying, hey, how can you restore to a different database? It is fully possible. Now let's right click again and we're going to hit tasks. This time we're going to go to restore and we're going to choose restore the database. Now here's where it gets to be a little bit where I want you to be a lot more careful because the waters get a little muddy here. Now we're going to choose the source as a device because we saved our backup to a disk. And this is why I say you have to know where your backup is. So I'm going to hit the ellipsis and now I'm going to add, and there's my file. So I'm going to hit OK. Now because this database is named 2, it wants our destination to be 2 as well. It wants to restore it to itself. We're going to actually take it into our test environment. So we need to actually drop it down, say, no, our destination is our test. Our 2 is just our source file. So now we're going to go in here and we're going to go to files. Now what we want to do is make sure, and I tend to scroll it all the way over to the right, make sure that the end of this file trail is the destination database. So mine is GP Z test. We want to just make sure that they both do say Z test. If they don't, that's okay. Make sure in our general tab here that we have our database destination on Z test. If it is and they're still not showing, click the ellipsis and grab it from your data folder. This is actually the data folder and the logs of information that we go through to check on your GP, and that'll give us all sorts of information as your GP partner. You can see they're right here. And the first one is a DAT file. The next one is our log file. So you would just choose them. Mine are fine, so I'm just going to continue on to options. And here I'm going to hit override the existing database because we're replacing it with this replication of our Fabricam company. And I'm going to also hit close existing connections. Now you get a warning right here. This may leave the destination database in single user mode. Now what it means to close the existing connections is when I took my backup, maybe I had 5 people logged in. Maybe I didn't boot everybody out because it wasn't an ideal situation. And that does happen to where sometimes there is no ideal time. But when I restore it, hey, I want it to automatically kick them out because we only have so many seats in GP and we want to make sure we're not going over them. Now, I did give us a SQL statement if it does say, hey, we're left in single user mode, because it can happen and it's okay. And we will definitely go over that. So now I'm just going to hit OK. I'm good with my settings. I'm happy. And again, here's our sequence bar up here, our progress. I hit 10%. I know I'm golden. I know it's going to go through. Now, it can take longer to back up or restore depending upon how many transactions and data you actually have. So don't be afraid. If it takes a while, it's okay. It just means it's grabbing everything. Come on, SQL, you can do it. There we go. So now I get my z-test is restored successfully. So now for those people that sat there and initially thought, hey, we took 2 and transformed it into z-test. There's got to be something else because this company is going to think it is 2. Yep, you're right. We do have a whole other step. First thing I like to do is hit this refresh, because if our database comes back in single user mode, you'll see it come up right next to here, next to the z-test, and it would say, hey, we're in single user mode. I did force mine into single user mode just so I could give you a good screenshot. And let's see. These are all of the steps that we took to do the restore. See, and there's our refreshing it. Where did the other screenshot go? Son of a gun. Okay, so this is showing that we did get back into multi-user mode. And here is our actual SQL statement that you can type in what you see. And you put right up here into master. And we're going to go over that. And it's just alter the database. And we list the name. And we just type in exactly what you see. This z-test, that's going to correlate to whatever your destination company is. And then you hit execute and you're good to go. It'll take it right out of single user mode. Now, let's get the test database thinking it is test and not our live database that we brought it into. Now, in order to do this, we do have to do a SQL script. However, one of our own has created this script for you, which is awesome. Whether you have intercompany transactions, whether you've got any kind of quirkiness going on in your system, it's going to grab and make sure it recognizes it not as test, but not as a live company, but as test. And that is super important. So now we did give it to you in your handout. I happen to have it here. You have it in Word. So all I'm going to do is hit Control A and Control C. Control A for select all, Control C for copy. And I'm going to open up SQL. I'm going to hit New Query. And I'm going to hit Control V for paste. So now I'm going to change this up here to what our destination company was. And it doesn't hurt if you do it to a wrong company by accident. It's okay. Just try to be really mindful. And I'm going to hit execute. And this is going through all of your tables and making sure it's saying, hey, we're not live, we're test. Or if this is a different company, it's, hey, we're not the company that our source file was, we're this company. And it's changing it to everything it's seeing up in here. So it does take a little bit, especially if you have more data, because remember, it's going through all of the tables that make up your front end GP. Command completed successfully. Now you should be able to log in to your test company without a problem and seeing it refreshed. And I'm going to choose my z-test company. And mine takes a little bit to start up. I've got so many modules active. There we go. Now, if you can log in, that means you perform that SQL statement. If you can't log in, that's telling you you need to perform that SQL statement. That's giving you that, hey, heads up reminder. So make sure you always do perform that. So now my test company is exactly the last transactions that I posted in my live company. So, and of course, in our demo data, our transaction default date is April 12th, 2017. And again, I've got all of these screenshots available for all of you, so you guys really understand the ramifications of being able to perform it properly and have great procedures. Now, do we have any questions? Let's open up. Brandon, would you mind opening up everybody to ask any questions?
Sure, absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone should be off of mute. Do we have any questions? You know, if I switch, Erica, I do have the latest upcoming webinars for November.
Oh,
So why
okay,
don't we
definitely take
go,
it.
what's that?
Definitely take over the screen.
All right. Oh, you may have to switch me to the presenter.
You got it, sir. And make presenter. There you go.
All right. So hopefully you can see that now. So yeah, so in November here, we do have a few upcoming webinars. So next week, next Tuesday, one of our sponsors at GPUC, Green Shades, is going to be talking about their new onboarding product. And then Wednesday, we will be showing our new updates to the web time entry product that we have. And then that Thursday, we will have a webinar on the fixed asset integrations with payables and POs. So we definitely have a good lineup of webinars for you. You'll certainly be, you can sign up on our website with that. There'll also be emails going out next week where you can register that way as well. And then just kind of circling back, then the following week, it's a very exciting time for our GPUC conference in Fargo. Just an absolutely amazing event with great training sessions and lots of our customers, attending. Great networking opportunities. It's not too late to sign up. So if you have any questions on any of those things, please don't hesitate to ask. And we hope that you can join GPUC as well as attend those webinars. So Erica, any other closing thoughts at all?
No, that's it.
Perfect. Well, great. Well, I'm glad everyone could join. I hope everyone has a great rest of their day.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.